I am now going to welcome to the stage the wonderful ambassador for Children Not Numbers and activist, and you may have seen her on television a few times, Nadia Sawalha.
This is quite weird. I'm absolutely rubbish with microphones. Yeah, it's always so embarrassing because I'm off the telly and I should be able to do it, and everyone always does it better. But I'll just stay here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then. Hi, everybody. Oh, it's so lovely to be here with all of you in this amazing space that I've been hearing about for so long from so many people, and that spoke to my heart. You know, there is so much greed in the world, and it is literally the poison of the world. I really believe that. So thank you for having me here. And thank you, Samia, too, because you are a superstar. The way you work so hard and so imaginatively, creative play. What you're saying about weapons of mass creation. I love that. Anyway, I was just chatting with some people just here, and I said, you know, I never, ever, when I talk anywhere, write anything down first. And they were like, oh my God, that's so clever. No, it really isn't. It's because I cannot write anything down. I can't have a thought before. And I think that's because I always like to feel how people are feeling, kind of, first of all. And it's so interesting, Viv, what you were saying, because in a way I have a slightly similar Brutiful tale, which I only found out about once the military aggression began against Gaza, and because my parents hadn't told me about it. But we were living in Jordan. My father's Jordanian, my mother's English, and I was 2 years old, and the 6-day war began, and we were going to be living and growing up in Jordan, me and my elder sister Dina, and it was brutal. My mother was given a gun straight away and told to put it under her pillow, and she said it was my mother's the most stoic woman in the world. Like, her finger was hanging off, and because she didn't want to wait in A&E, she just got them to stitch it without any anaesthetic. This woman is tough, and but she said that she was totally terrified. And you know, this 6-day war, and we were chatting to her. I said, "Oh, what? Oh, so what? We were all there." She said, "Yeah, we never told you, really." What happened. She said, you know, we had to bundle you under the table and we had to play all these games. And she said it was like the planes were going to come into the apartment. She said it was totally terrifying. 6 days later it ended, and that's when Israel took the West Bank, which was Jordan, took the West Bank. And so we came here, and so because we were going to grow up in Jordan, and we got on a plane, and my dad unbelievably drove from Jordan. I don't know how that happens all the way to West Norwood, but he did it. And it's weird because we were quite a way in. I think it was like, it wasn't in October, maybe it was the December that Mum told us this story. And it was so strange because, of course, I think anyone with a human heart, any humanitarian, is going to be horrified by what's happening in Gaza. You just can't see it and not be horrified. But there was something so much deeper in me and my sister. It was like so unbearable. We were so outraged, horrified. There aren't words to describe it. And I'll be honest, totally turned my life upside down. If I'm sorry, I'm going to have some more. I get emotional. Totally turned my life upside down, and I'm going to say something a bit weird here, but in a good way. Because I'm 60 years old, I've been on telly for I don't know how long. I always say no to every single thing I get invited to. It's always quite wanky. You know, you've got to get tarted up, you've got to be something and be someone and be a certain way. And so for the last 10 years, I've said no to everything. And since October the 8th, more and more and more, I say yes to everything because everything I get invited to is meaningful. And this horror story has shown me so much humanity, and it's shown me actually the beauty of the world and of human beings in a way that I'd never seen before. I've always loved human beings. I've always been somebody, what's your hobby? What's your interest? People. That's all I'm really interested in. Like people's stories. That's why I think it's so brilliant what you've done. People's stories. I drive people mad wanting to know everything about them. Nobody's going to be a friend of mine if they just stay surface. I've got to know everything. So I've always, you know, all through my life, I've said, oh, there's more good people than bad people. I've always been knocked down for that. Don't say that. The world's bad. And at the moment, the world feels to me, and to many of us, there's so much poison. But if you are a part of this solidarity, this activism, this peaceful determination that something truly, truly horrific is happening, and you are now awake. The word woke has been so weaponized, and it's so disgusting, because we've been manipulated into thinking woke it is a laughable, look down your nose sort of thing, especially in my business. You wouldn't believe how many times people say, oh, God, these woke people. I want to be awake and more awake and more awake and more awake. And it's not just Gaza's genocide, it's genocides going on all over the world. And the only way I can survive it is to be active and to be at something like this with other people. There might be some people here that know nothing about Gaza and that want to know more. There might be people that are completely involved. I know quite a few in the marches. And whatever that is, I just love it. Because some people say to me, I was a bit scared to say anything because I don't really know that much about it. Oh, God, don't ever be scared. Just, you know, anything you want to know, I'm there to help. And I probably won't know it either, and I'll have to look it up. And people often say to me, what can I do to help? And I think every person can find a small pebble that they can throw, and then the ripple effect that goes out and on and on and on. Like sometimes I feel so desperate and I feel so powerless. And I remember a prayer, I'm not religious, but my husband is a recovering alcoholic, go off on one a bit here, and went to rehab. And my favourite prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And when I feel powerless, what do? I'll do a little video for Instagram. My husband and I do a daily show on YouTube. And if you offered me 10,000 new followers that are completely engaged in Gaza, or one new one that didn't know any of it and is saying, oh God, but I didn't, oh, what? Like after the Settlers documentary, you know, that is everything to me. You know, anyone that is in the public eye that speaks out gets multiple threats, loses jobs, loses money, loses so many things, but it doesn't compare to what one gains. So whenever we might feel a little afraid, I think if we remember how terribly frightening it is to be in Gaza, and they, you know, we spoke, as Samia said, I'm the ambassador of Children Not Numbers, a fantastic charity that helped the children of Gaza. And they raised money enough to start a little school in Gaza, 350 children, where we did a live stream to them the other day. And I cannot tell you how incredible it was. These little kids, you can hear the bombs going off. They're hungry. They're getting half a day each. Some of them are fainting. They're so hungry. And they stand up and they say, I want to be a journalist because I want to tell people the stories of what's happening. Or me, I want to be a doctor. And you see these children, not just the children. I want to talk about the men of Gaza for 1 minute. We can say children, we can say pregnant mothers. What about the men, the incredible men of Gaza that day in, day out are out there searching for food, maybe going to get shot in the head, digging the rubble with their bare hands with sandals on over and over again. What these people have gone through is just unbearable over the last 75 years. And I am so honoured to be here tonight with people that might want to know more, people that know a lot, and to hear more Brutiful Tales from Samia. And yeah, just find a tiny pebble and throw it. Thank you.